Hey everybody, know it's been a little while since you guys had an update, so we want to kind of just let you guys know what's been going on here in the Philippines in our lives. The past 6-7 months, it's been a lot of adapting, getting used to our new world. In that there's been, one thing is just really hot over here. So on average, like in our house, it's like 95 degrees right now. Fans help. Blowing the wind in and out, but even some days we have what they call brownouts here. So some days we'll go with no power all day, and that's probably on average once a week, sometimes multiple times a week. So it gets really hot, and then other things, just stressors. Like one time we went 6 days with no water. Something happened with the pump in our neighborhood, and they didn't get it squared away for 6 days, so we had to take buckets up the street and go get water. And it's more difficult than what you use, a lot more water than what you think you would, washing dishes and taking showers and using the bathroom. So every day had to get lots of water. Culture is also another big thing that we just have to adapt to. Everything in the Philippines is different. Not only just the way that we think and how we interact with people, like in the U.S., it's completely different than it is here. Here it's all relationship oriented. Everything is off of saving face and being friendly and being kind, and sometimes we would consider it maybe not fully speaking the truth, but if it maintains relationship here, that's what's more important. But it's difficult just in the culture for us, just because our entire lives we've grown up just different, and so that's just something else we're having to get used to, along with in the culture. All of that bleeds into how people walk, even, and how people stand. Here to us, it seems like maybe even there's not a personal bubble like in the U.S. we would consider, there's a certain distance that you feel comfortable, but here people walk right on top of each other, and it's the same way with driving. Driving is completely different. It's almost like there's no laws, but it works here. People know how to drive in this atmosphere, and it's just something we're having to get used to. Also, language barrier is another huge thing. So coming here, obviously we don't speak the language, and so just getting around, going shopping, trying to figure out where things are at, just anything is difficult, just because we don't speak the language. We know are new, first starting out, little bits and pieces of language, and then some people here also speak broken English, and so we could manage, but it was just a big thing, first getting around that, not knowing how to talk to people, and that even weighs into just like personal lives, just not having those deep friendships where you can just have in-depth conversations and talk about the things that you like, you love, talk about the Lord, talk about the gospel, any of those things that just you take for granted, that we don't have. It becomes a bigger thing when you don't have it, I guess, so to say.
Language learning is our main focus right now, and thankfully it's going well. We started in January full time. We started out by just going into a phase of just listening, and we both have language helpers, and they do a lot of just pointing at things.
Salakol, Saridora, Tornillo, Lagari, Liabe.
And so we just learned a lot of vocabulary that way, like a baby, just beginning by listening, no speaking, and slowly we got into being able to speak a few words.
Pinapaikot ko ang lapis. Hinihila ko ang gunting.
Praise the Lord, it's going pretty well, and we now are able to have small conversations. We've got some sentences down, and throughout the day I have my language helpers here, and I'm able to pretty much hold some good conversations all day long with her in Tagalog. I'm sure it's probably not grammatically all correct. But she understands me, and I'm understanding her a lot. And same with Keith. He's starting to get those sentences down, and yeah, we're excited to be able to build relationships, because we can now start to understand people and start to have those conversations. Yeah, it's exciting to be able to do that.
Now that we're starting to learn a lot more language, and we've been here for 7 months, we've been meeting quite a few people. So it's exciting to start to build more relationships and be able to have those small conversations with people. And people know who we are now, and even like when I go even to some of the towns over, they say, "Hey, you Roosevelt Park? Yeah, that's where you live." And so sometimes it's kind of weird because random people that I met one time, and all the Filipino faces look the same to me. But this random person will come up and just tell me who I am, where I live, and all these different things. So it is kind of funny, but it's good, that people here are starting to know who we are, we know who they are, having those small relationships, and it's starting to, I don't know, it's becoming more of a blend. This is our home, this is where we are, so it's good.
Yeah. Gabriel had his first birthday a couple months ago, and it was so fun. We got to invite a bunch of our Filipino friends over. We had like 40 people in our house. My language helper helped me cook and just prepare for this party, kind of Filipino style, which was fun. And it was a blast. Gabriel had so much fun being the center of attention. He loved it, and yeah, we just had a really, really good time. Most of the people were believers, and we just had a time of prayer, and yeah, it was just celebrating, and Gabriel is growing up so fast.
Since we've gotten to know a lot more people, now every week I go to a men's Bible study, which is good. I'm really enjoying that, just studying the Word together with other believers. There's one Australian guy who's a missionary, but then also four Filipino guys that we're with. And so it's good. It's kind of in a mix, they call it Taglish, so mix English, mix Tagalog. So I get to practice some Tagalog there, and then also enough English to understand in depth and just get fed by the Word. So that's also just one way, just get to brag on the Lord that even though we can't fully speak the language and be able to minister to people yet, fully in sharing the gospel, there's other ways that we minister to people. And just this past week, one of the guys that in the Bible study with, his name is Wendell. We call him Kuya Wendell, his older brother. It's like the same brother. Kuya Wendell, ever since we've known him, he's had stomach issues where I don't know if it's acid reflux or what it is, but he only sleeps like 3 hours a night, 4 hours a night sometimes. And he can't hardly eat very much. He has trouble drinking anything. He can only drink water pretty much. And just, every day it's an issue, and he always is asking for prayer. And so just this past week at the Bible study, when he got there, he said, "Hey, after last week when you prayed for me, my stomach is better." And he said, "I've been able to eat and drink and sleep more." And he's even talking about that he was going to get off his medicine that he was taking, and so he even said, "I want you to pray for me again." So just brag on the Lord, that we still get to minister to people in just different ways and small ways to see the Lord move and work. It's really cool.
I also have been able to join a women's Bible study of all Filipino ladies besides me, of course, and it's pretty much all in Tagalog, and so I don't necessarily understand as much, except I have my own Bible in English, but it's a good way for practice, and they'll speak English every once in a while. They'll throw some words in there so I can understand, and but it's a good way to learn more of the spiritual words in Tagalog, since that's not really what we're learning in our class. But yeah, it's been good. Also, like, that's weekly, and then bi-weekly or monthly I go to a Bible study with all of the expats here, the missionaries here, and so that's in English with other other foreigners, I should say, and so that's been good too, just to have that time with English speakers.
Recently we took a 3-week trip up into the mountains. It was like 5,000 or 6,000 feet up into the mountains to go stay with some tribes. We went to three or four different tribes while we were up there. So I'm going to be, right now I'm putting together a video of of all of that in our time up there. So stay tuned, and hopefully that'll be out in maybe a week or two.
Hopefully it won't take us as long as it has for the
Yes.
last video, or since the last video.
Yeah. But yeah, so you guys can just check out some of the stuff that our future will hold. Some things you guys can be praying for. One, of course, is just language, that we would continue to just get more and more language so that we can integrate into the culture even more, be able to communicate with people. It's such a huge piece of being here. So yeah, just prayer for language for us. And then also, one thing that's constantly frustrating on my mind is our visas. We still have not got our missionary visas. Stuff does not work here like it does in the U.S. There's not just a paper to fill out, a fee to pay, and you get the thing or whatever it is. It's a lot of hoops to jump through, and it's very difficult. And so because it's dragging on this long, it's costing more and more money. And so, yeah, just prayer that God would just open all the doors and align everything that needs to be, and all the people, and just that everything, just so that we can wrap it up and be done with it. So right now we're still on our tourist visas, and I'm probably about to have to renew those again because the missionary visa stuff has taken so long. And so it's, yeah, like I said, it's just continually having to pay money just for all the time that it's taken. So we covet your prayers. We thank you guys for all your love, all your support, just the encouragement that you guys give us, the notes that you send us, all those things. Thank you for your financial support. We literally could not be here unless you were supporting us with your prayer. This life here is a lot more frustrating than what probably we expected, being away from friends and family and the comforts of, the life in America, the things that we have to change, that has been the core of who we are since we were little. It's a lot of little stresses that add up on top of each other, and so your prayers, we feel them when you're praying for us. We thank you for them. We ask you to keep praying for us. We ask you to keep being generous, with God's finances, so that we can continue to be here. Yeah, we love you guys. We appreciate you. We're praying for you as well as you praying for us. We thank you. Say hi, buddy.
Can you say hi?
Hi. You say hi? Who's that?
We know that you guys wanted to see Gabriel. He was napping during our video, so here he is. Say hi, Gabriel. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Hi. And this is what he wears every day because of the heat here, and otherwise he gets a heat rash. So this is him, 1 year old. 1 year old.
Crazy hair.
But we love him. He's so happy. He's a joy to our lives. Yeah, and he loves to talk. Right? He loves to talk.
You say lizard? Where's the lizard? Lizard.
Good job. Okay. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I'm trying to figure out who you're saying bye to. Okay. Bye. Bye. Yeah. Good boy.
Bye.